Good evening and welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of Thursday Live. With myself, Philly, we have the Mad Mistake. Terry, have you had a good day today?
Like usual, busy day, been for me run round Durham beach banks. I was going to say Durham river banks, been for a run down Durham River. So yeah, fit and healthy, touch wood.
Fit and healthy, like the rest of us. Jacob down south, how's your day been?
Not too bad, Philly, mate. Just come back from a run myself. Looking forward to the show tonight. A lot to discuss.
Shut up. You all made me sick. I haven't been for a run. I haven't been for a bike ride. I haven't been for anything. Jack Shields joins us as well. Jack, have you had a good day, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I've had a 45-minute quick gym session as well, Phil. So yeah, I'm out again. I'm afraid.
Pump one.
No, man. Right, before we start, I want to say a massive thank you to all our subscribers this week. With the help of Terry and his live stream on Tuesday, we have passed 7,000 subscribers. So a massive round of applause to all our subscribers. Thank you very much. A massive achievement in the short time this channel has been alive. Tonight, we are available via the live chat if you would like to join in. Already on there, Stephen Hensel has had a quite lengthy conversation with himself. Dan Humphrey is there as well. We have put it out on social media about Lee Johnson, really, and it's had quite a response. So we are going to start with that. We did the fan cams after the Sheffield Wednesday game on Tuesday night, and loads of people were saying he's got to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw that round you already. Streaky in or streaky out? Terry, we'll start with you.
Have we got to start with this subject straight away? Can we get warmed up first?
Yeah.
Well,
let's chat about the match first, are we?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, the thing is everybody's like, this is it. This is what I mean. It really is dividing opinion. Well, we'll go to the match first then. All right.
Yeah, let's go to the
3-0. 3-0 down at Sheffield Wednesday then. Overall performance then, Terry?
Absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. For me, it's been the worst week as a Sunderland fan in the club's history. Down in League One, getting thumped 5-1, getting thumped 3-0, being thumped by Portsmouth 4-0. Lack of tactics. Lack of ambition by the Sunderland players by the looks of it. And I just thought, where's the response from that 5-1 thumping on Saturday? Where was the changes? I wanted to see changes. I wanted to see, a reaction from the lads, and there was no reaction. Players running on like headless chickens. I just didn't understand what was going on that night. It was like we went out there and nobody wanted to win. And what makes it even worse, as much Sheffield won 3-0, I didn't think they were that great. I didn't think they even got a second gear to beat us. I just thought it was awful. That was just the worst watch I have seen for a long time. It is so bad. The defence is just absolutely diabolical. And I think it all starts and it all stems off in that. It's starting to really knock the life out of me now is this having Doyle and Hoffman. Now, both of them teams played out from the back. You got Man City, you got Bayern Munich. Now, have they been brought in with assurances these lads have got to play games of football and they've got to play in kind of the same style so that they learn? Because I just don't get it. Straight from the off, Hoffman will throw the ball out and we're under pressure. The defence is under pressure straight away, so we're constantly giving the ball away and we keep doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, before teams figured us out for the first couple of games, it worked all right. But now teams at our throats straight away and we're just losing the ball. Doyle, I feel for the lad, young 18-year-old lad, whole life in front of him, good future, but out of his depth at this moment in time, now teams have figured us out. Now teams are rushing at him. He just tries to run with the ball and pass it, but he gives it away straight away. Flanagan just lost the plot. 2 wing-backs. Serkin's lost his confidence. And Winchester's been found out now. He's had a great start of the season, doing a really good job out of position, but we've finally been found out for having no right-back. And as good as you can be up front, as good as you can be in the final third, if you're going to ship goals in left, right and centre, you don't stand a chance. Absolutely. And the manager as well. I was screaming out for changes at half-time. 65 minutes gone, 3-0 down, game's over. What's the point of changing it then? What's the point?
Well, we will get on to Lee Johnson. There's loads of people on the chat. David Jones says, good evening, SAFC Fan TV, from a Bolton supporter. And he's saying Johnson out. Welcome to the Bolton fans watching there then as well. I agree. This passing out from the back, it's what they do. And when you lose the ball in that area, the opposition are immediately on the attack and in a dangerous position. And we continue to do it over and over and over again. Terry?
And one more thing, it's about time Luke O'Nien got a rest, because he's had his shoulder popped out, over and over again. He looks absolutely shattered. He looks in a different, sort of time zone to everybody else. He's way out with his challenges. He cannot pass the ball. He's lost all his confidence. Why is Lee Johnson persistent in doing this? He's just getting the lad probably even more and more criticism from the fans. He's getting his confidence knocked even lower. He needs a rest. He needs to be taken out for a good 3 weeks. Just complete rest, this lad.
Right, fair enough. Shout out to people on the chat already. Lauren Kenny, Jeff Holcroft, Spannerman, DJ Earth is there as well, who does our previews. David Walker, Tony Lee, Michael Bramley, lots of people commenting on Johnson. We will get to that. I know we've said that. Jack, you went down to Sheffield, yes?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What did you think overall?
Yeah, poor. We lost a sloppy goal early on and never really recovered. I think it's a worry the team seem to have worked out how to play against us, give us no time in the ball, win the ball high up, get the ball out wide and put a ball in the box. And Sunderland look utterly incapable at the minute of defending a ball into the box, which is a worry, because at this level you're going to get an aerial balls in from corners, set pieces, crosses. We look like we just can't defend at the minute. And I think what worried me was it looked like a few players, particularly on Tuesday, looked like they were hiding a little bit from that. I don't know what the other lads think, but to me it looked like a team that was really low on confidence, lads that really didn't want to be, they would have rather been anywhere else but on that pitch. And yes, you're losing the game, but you have to keep going. You need broad shoulders to play at this football club. Do you know what I mean? We've got a big, massive following at this level. We're a big football club at this level, and sometimes you need somebody with a bit of character. And I was looking around and I didn't see that on Tuesday night. I saw lads that looked low on confidence, out of ideas, and really didn't want to be there. And it's a bit of a worry now, because I always think, yeah, you can lose a game, you can lose, anybody loses games of football, but I always think, where's the reaction? And I looked Saturday, we got hammered, and I thought there has to be a reaction, and there wasn't. Do you know what I mean? We didn't look any better on Tuesday. Scoreline was slightly better. We only lost by 3 goals rather than 4, but I think it's a bit of a concern now, because we don't play a league game for another couple of weeks, and I think we are going to be falling, well off the pace at this. I think we're already a few points behind. We're going to be even more behind. So I think it's a big worry at the minute. But your form can go as easy as it can come back. Do you know what I mean? So it's only a few weeks back we were all happy and saying HMS, course the league. So it might change around. You've got to hope that we can find something from somewhere. But the signs aren't good at the minute, because it looks like a team that's just utterly shocked of confidence.
And is it not the manager's job to get the players up for this game and stuff like that? Like you said, I'll bring you in just now, Terry. You expected a reaction. I did as well. Man, I expected more changes in the team, and I thought by bringing the more changes in, the people who came in would have gone, right, this is my shirt now, and you're not going to get this back off me. But I don't think he made enough changes. Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, he's got 18 days now to sort this shower shite out, right? 18 days. Let's see if he actually has a plan B. We'll soon find out.
Right, just very quickly on the chat, Telly says, well said, Terry. Man of the world saying Johnson out, Keane in, some ambition, KLD. Barry Shepherd says, well said, Terry. Teams have worked us out and know how to play against us now. We have no plan B. Stephen Ansell says, bring back Jack Diamond. Jacob, the match Tuesday, 3-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Overall, what did you think?
Absolutely garbage, Philly. Absolutely garbage. I mean, I thought Saturday's game, last Saturday's game away at Rotherham was really bad, but in terms of the manner of how we responded to that result, the feeling was 10 times worse. And like Terry said, Sheffield Wednesday didn't even need to get out of second gear to score the goals that they scored. The first 45 minutes, in terms of our overall play, we may have looked in control at times, even though when we were 2-0 down, I thought in the middle of the park we looked control, but end product wise, we offered nothing really. And every time Sheffield came forward with the ball, it looked like they were going to score. Couple of poor performances all round from the lineup that we made. Lyndon Gooch stopping crosses, the guy simply can't do it. You know, he's inept at times. He's just, the first goal that they scored, he was caught all the way up the other end of the pitch when he was meant to be marking the geezer. And then the second one, his attempt to try and stop the cross was horrendous. In terms of our centre-back partnership of Tom Flanagan and Callum Doyle, it's starting to die out now. Teams are starting to tactically figure out how to play against them too when they come up against us. Flanagan, he's an experienced guy at times, but Doyle alongside him, I think it's starting to get exposed now. Doyle coming up against the big physical striker, just can't jump for headers in the middle of the park. Carl Winchester and Dan Neil, I thought, were completely out-muscled and out-bullied in the middle. In terms of going forward, Aidan O'Brien didn't really offer much in terms of trying to link up with Ross Stewart. And was it bringing on the first change at 65 minutes? What's the point in doing that? You might as well do it at half-time, give the fans something to hold on to, because it clearly wasn't working in the first 45 minutes. And like Michael said in his video, in a very passionate match review down at Hillsborough on Tuesday, questions need to be asked. And later on in the show tonight, we'll come on to whether the manager's the right guy to take us forward. But yeah, we'll soon come on to that.
Right, well, Lee Johnson in his interview afterwards said that we played better than we did against Rotherham. Did we, Terry? Terry, I think you must have your mic muted. There you go. Try again.
I was going to swear there, so I had to switch it off. Now, eyes on the prize, he says. Eyes on the prize. What prize is this? Is his eyes on the playoff positions or the booby prize? Did we play better against Rotherham? I thought we played better against Rotherham in the first half, but I think they're both shite, both garbage, both equally as rubbish as each other. So no, I didn't even understand his gibberish on his interview. His interview really pissed me off. We won the game, but we lost the battle in the penalty areas. Just shut up, man. Talk sense, for God's sake. Just say it the way it is. We were absolutely shite. Simple as.
But Sheffield Wednesday weren't that good, were they?
They weren't, but they did the business. They knew where the back of the net was. They knew how to defend. We can't do either at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think they had, it's 4 shots on target and scored 3 times. I think.
But the only player that comes away with any credit is Stewart. He works his socks off. Absolutely works his socks off. Comes back, defends, out on the wing, left and right, up front. Gets no help from anybody. And I just feel for the lad, he needs some service. He needs some help. We need a massive change. We need a new plan altogether, because what he's doing at the moment is being completely found out. Yes, we were doing well to start the season. 6 home games, 3 away games. Now we've played a load of away games. We're getting found out. Getting bullied because we're soft. There's no natural born leaders on that park. There's nobody to get them by the scruff of the neck and lead them. Nobody.
Right, just very quickly then. Lots of people on the chat throwing names into the ring already. We will get onto the Lee Johnson in or out topic very soon. Gus Poyet, Roy Keane, already people chucking names about already. Harry RL says if something doesn't change in the next game, Johnson needs to go. Look, we've got 192 people on the stream at the moment. We got 50 likes. Just hit the thumbs up. It'll take you a second. We'd like to try and hit 100 if we can on a Thursday. And if you are watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Be part of the 7,000. It's free to subscribe. It'll take you a second. Jacob, did we play better than we did against Rotherham?
I felt we started the game better in terms of us keeping the ball, but in terms of getting the ball up to the forward line quicker, not much has changed in that department. I think the 2 players that can come off the pitch holding their heads up high just a little bit, I would say, would be Sirkin and Neil. I think when they got the ball on Tuesday, they at least tried to make something happen. But when you look at the likes of Luke O'Nien and Carl Winchester, whenever they picked it up, they were going sideways back. And yeah, right now, the tactics, they're just not being supportive enough to Ross Stewart up there. I mean, the guy's got the capability to score goals to get us out of this division. And Terry touched on us playing out from the back right now. I mean, I would say it is my style of football, but was it the tiki-taka, like playing it out from the back? But you have to have the right players to do that. And there's no harm with the team that we like to field out in hoofing it long, because we have got a tall physical striker in Ross Stewart whose hold-up plays second to none. You know, particularly that's what infuriated me about Hoffman on Tuesday night. I'm not sure whether the manager's telling him to do that, play it out from the back, but just launch it to Ross Stewart. You know, his hold-up plays terrific. He brings people into play, and if we do that more, we'll have more chance of scoring goals. Well,
on the chat here, David said Broadhead should be up with him two up front.
Yeah.
With Broadhead, which could sort of work with what you're trying to say there. If it up to Stewart, he can hold it up, and if Broadhead's just off him there. Jack, did we play better than we did against Rotherham, do you think?
Not really. There wasn't a great deal of improvement. I think I went to both games, and there wasn't a great deal of improvement. I thought Rotherham were just a little bit more clinical with the chances. I actually thought Sheffield Wednesday took the foot off the gas a little bit more than Rotherham did. I think they got the 2-0 up, realised how poorly Sunderland were playing, and just thought, we'll just course this game out. We'll just see this game out now, which is a bit of a worry. I thought we were doing okay until the goal. Their first goal took it really well, and then after that, there was absolutely no hope we were getting back into the game, and that's the worry. Because I think at this level, you go 1-0 down, yeah, it's disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. You have to have a bit of character. You have to say, let's get back into it. And there wasn't any reaction. There was no creativity up front. We're asking Ross Stewart to hold the ball up and then also to win a flick ahead run in behind himself. You're asking him to play two or three different roles, and it's like he's only one lad. He's a decent striker, very good striker at this level, but come on, give him a chance. You have to get men up around him. And I think the lack of plan B is another thing as well. Okay, when you want to pass out from the back, excellent. But when teams are pressing you high up and you're struggling to get out, like I say, I agree with Jake, there has to be a plan B. There has to be an out ball. You have to say, we'll knock it up to Ross Stewart and we'll get men around him and build out that way. And that will make them, the opposition, drop the team a little bit deeper because they're worried about runners coming in behind, and they won't have the press as much. So that will give us a little bit of a chance to get a foothold in the game. But it's the goals that we're conceding. Too many times, in the last couple of games, we've conceded a goal by simply ball out wide, half decent ball into the box, and then someone gets a touch or a header or a tap in from close range with nobody challenging. I think we've exposed a real underbelly, a real soft underbelly from Sunderland at the minute, with Doyle, who's looked off at the last couple of games, and Flanagan that just hasn't been in form either. So really, there wasn't much improvement at all. And now the disappointing thing is we've got so long to wait until the next league game. You're not going to see, a hugely competitive next couple of games. I mean, you'd want Sunderland to win them both, but they're not in the league. The league's the bread and butter. So disappointing that we haven't got that chance to recover and react, but we'll just have to go again.
So do you think we should stop all this playing out from the back then? Because it just, obviously that's the way they've been told to play, because that's what they're continually doing. And if we do, like Jacob suggests, start banging it up forward, at least, if we do lose the ball, at least it's in an area which isn't dangerous. Sorry, go on then, Jack. Then Terry wants in.
Sorry, I just think just mixed up a little bit. When if teams are pressing, you can try and work you out a couple of times. But if it looks like you're getting caught, like Sheffield Wednesday were catching us, then go a little bit longer. Do you know what I mean? There has to be some kind of an alternative. I'm not saying go long ball constantly, but if a team's squeezing and you're finding it difficult to get out with you passing out from the back, then there has to be an option to knock it a bit longer. That's that variety that keeps things going. Do you know what I mean? That keeps the opposition guessing. If you're doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working, it's definition of insanity, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, you've got to have the players that can play up from the back. I don't think Flanagan is that can play the ball that fast. And Doyle's being found out. When I watched the game, I don't know who was it, when the cup matches, Alves and Younger, they're younger, can control the ball quite well and run with the ball quite well, and he passed the ball out the back from quite well. So for me, I think Younger has the ability more to pass the ball fast out the back than Doyle has at the moment. So, you've got to play to your players' strengths, and I just don't think doing that now that the other teams know exactly what we're going to be doing, the pressure in them, and Doyle's just under pressure too quickly, and he gives the ball away.
Right, okay. Is that, have I covered everything? Jacob, you want in there? Go on.
I think it also depends on the opposition and the type of strikers that they have as well. If it's like a tall, physical striker who might not have the best pace, then there's no harm in trying to play a bit of flair when trying to play it out from the back. But against Rotherham at the weekend, when you've got a pacey striker like Freddie Ladapo, for me, he's one of the quickest strikers in this division. You just can't afford to do that. Every time Sirkin picked up the ball and Winchester on the other side, he was onto them like a flash. And it was the same, to be honest, every time we tried to do it on Tuesday night. Their strikers, Lee Gregory, they had, and the other one with, is it Canberry, Florian Canberry? That they tactically figured this out, and they knew how to really pile the pressure onto our back line. And yeah, we couldn't cope with it.
Right, fair enough. I'll do one more on this game, then I want to get on to Lee Johnson and discuss this. We did the fan cam interviews after the game, and a couple of people, when we was interviewing them, said, why didn't he play Diaku? A bit of flair and stuff like that. Now, me personally, I thought Diaku was not very good at all against Rotherham, and thus would have been one of the players I dropped anyway. Have I seen something different? Jack, should he have played Diaku, or am I missing this, or what?
I don't think he had a very good game, Phil, but nobody did at Rotherham. Do you know what I mean? Other than maybe Ross Stewart, you can't pick any Sunderland player out, and I think sometimes you do need to change it. And I think I was surprised there wasn't more changes, to be honest. So I think Diaku maybe. I think I have long-term doubts about Diaku's bottle. I think he's a very good technical footballer. Whether or not he's going to be a favourite for the Sunderland fans, I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to be someone that'll really commit to the cause. I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong. I think he's more of a flair player on the ball. I think it's just the fact that is what annoyed me as well, touching on the lack of substitutes as well. Lee Johnson, like the lads have touched on. Did he make a change at half time? I don't think he did. 65th minute when he made a change, I was staggered. You're 2-0 down, you know what I mean? And it's just, the lack of, maybe we haven't got as many options as I think, but I was just surprised at him not mixing it up a little bit more. It's almost like we had a bad performance on Saturday and he went, oh, go on, just have another one. Do you know what I mean? Without anybody really rattled. I mean, I don't know how Luke O'Nine's still in the team as well. I mean, we've had him for 3.5 years now, and it's just, yeah.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, I'm trying to get through all this, all the chat if I can. Tony Lee on there saying if we'd kept Jack Ross, we would have been promoted by now. I think that was followed up with from DJ saying from League Two, apparently, in his response to that. Anyway, Terry, Diaku, do you think he should have been in the team or not?
No, I mean, he gave Winchester no help on Saturday at all. He didn't track back. He didn't do his job. Same as McGeady didn't do the same on both sides. And he wanted to see better from Gooch, and Gooch was just as bad. So, I mean, end of the day, it's got to be coming from their manager. The manager's instructions mustn't be going through, because why would you leave an inexperienced right back who, yes, started well at the beginning of the season, but 6 games at home, then all of a sudden teams are finding out his weaknesses as a right back, and now they're trying to get down that way, and there's no one helping them. Gooch was just as bad on Tuesday, and on the other side, O'Brien was slightly better, but Diaku had a decent first half of the match against QPR last week, but then he went off the boil completely. So on Saturday, it was just absolutely rubbish. But I mean, for me, there should have been changes in the keeper, and there should have been changes in defence, because that's what we're doing. We're letting too many goals in, too many crosses were coming across. Keeper was making mistakes, the defenders weren't clearing them, and that's where the problem starts. Because, I mean, if you keep a clean sheet, you win that Rotherham game 1-0.
Fair enough. Jacob, Diaku, do you think he should have had a start, or was he right to be dropped?
Well, I thought he was right to be, being taken off at half-time? Well, I think he was taken off at half-time against Rotherham. I thought he was pretty inept that day, but I think with Diaku, I think if you give him a consistent run of games over time, I think he will become a decent player. But you have to look at the fact he's only on loan. Was he brought in by Lee Johnson only to be a squad player this season? Who knows? But he has got the capability. There's no doubt. He is very technically gifted. He adds a lot of pace to the side as well. I personally think right now, I had this debate with my mates a few times. Was it before the match? I think he's a better option coming off the bench. I think when teams are tired, I think he can run at them and he can cause a lot of damage. I was surprised that he didn't get any minutes though on Tuesday. I thought that was very surprising, but I did agree with the likes of, was it Pritchard coming on? But yeah, at least if you're going to bring someone like Pritchard on, Diaku needs to come on as well, add something different to the side. He can do it. It's just a case of, this is another thing. There's been at times where Lee Johnson, he's tried to play him as a number 10 and it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all with him playing there. He has to be out wide. His effectiveness and his trickery is more effective when he's out on the wing, trying to get balls into the box and beating a fullback. But when he's a number 10, I don't think he's got the physicality in this division to do that. But he is still a decent player on his day.
Right, fair enough. Terry, you want in there?
Yeah, Alan Carr makes a good point there. I've noticed it over the last few games. Hoffman is in incredible rush to get rid of the ball straight away, regardless if the players are in position, regardless if there's strikers in the vicinity of the defenders. He wants to get rid of the ball straight away, and instantly that defender is under tremendous pressure. There's two of them around him straight away. It's just not the way to go on at the moment.
Fair enough. Michael Bramley on the chat says, get Sunderland-born Nigel Clough in. Love and passion. And ironically, Nigel Clough, of course, is the manager of
Nigel Clough.
Oh, you mean...
Nigel, Nigel's still with us, Jacob. Unlike yourself. I'll just get rid of you now if you're not going to pay attention. There you go. I'm only funning. There you go.
Horrible mix-up.
No, Nigel Clough, of course, who is the manager of Mansfield, who we play on Saturday in the Cup as well. Right. I've got to get onto this because we did put it on social media, and purely because of the response when we did the fan cam interviews after the Sheffield Wednesday game. If you've not seen those yet, by the way, they are on the channel. Just give them a watch. Loads and loads of people calling for it's time for Lee Johnson to go. So we put it out on social media that we were going to discuss this tonight. It has had a bit of a backlash. People saying you shouldn't be talking about this and what have you. Well, why not? It's people's opinions. There's a lot of people saying that they want him gone. There's a lot of people saying it's a ridiculous idea. So we're going to put it out there. I had a conversation with someone on social media saying, we shouldn't give people the opportunity to even talk about this. And I don't understand that, because everybody's entitled to an opinion, like the guy who was giving his own opinion as well. Anyway, let's start with a simple in or out, streaky in or out. Jacob?
On the fence.
Boo. On the fence.
That's all I'm giving you.
Right. Jack?
I'm a reluctant Lee Johnson in. I'm not a massive fan, but I would say, do I want to sack him at the minute? No.
Terry, you've made lots of. Whoa!
It's been a right potty mouth.
Right, there you go. Unmute yourself and say exactly that. Because Terry, you've been very vocal about Lee Johnson as well, mind. So go on.
I've been very vocal saying that I didn't want him sacked. I've been very vocal saying that he's not the person I wanted in the first place, and I don't particularly like what he's doing at this moment in time. I don't like his interviews. I don't like his fancy words. I don't like his substitutions. I particularly don't like a lot of things what's going on, but I'm going to give the bloke a chance. I'm going to say keep him in till after the Ipswich match, and we'll see if he's got a plan B. I want to see what he's made of. I want to see if he's actually not very good or actually can turn this around. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's in, but I want to see it different altogether against that, Ipswich.
All right. So are we saying then, Terry, that if we lose against Ipswich, then you're a Johnson out man?
Ah, yes. No change whatsoever. Johnson out then, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Me personally, and again, we just put the thumbnail out and it said streaky in or out question mark as there was, and automatically people were jumping on the bandwagon and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be wanting him sacked and whatever." I'll say, and I'm 100% think it is absolutely ridiculous that people are saying that he should go. He's had 3 games, of which 2 of those games are against Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday, who are teams who are going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. It's not been good the last 3 games, but just 2 weeks ago, we were in a great position. We've played 15 games, we've won 9, we've drawn 1, we've lost 5. We're in 5th place, right?
We've lost a third of our matches in League One for 15 games. Do you keep that going? How many games are we going to lose end of the season? 15 plus.
But this is right. This is the next thing I'm going to get onto then, right? People call him streaky because of this, he goes on a winning streak, a losing streak. People are saying he's got to go because otherwise he doesn't know how to change it. And we're now going to go on a losing streak. You can't want him out now because he's lost 3 games, because you think that he's now going to lose another 5, 6, 7 games. Terry.
I've watched every single league game this season, and I've never been convinced in the majority of those league games. I don't think we've played that well in the majority of those league games. I'm saying, right, if he's a decent coach and he's got what it takes, he'll turn this around in 18 days. He'll have the team up for it, he'll pick the team, and he'll get a result against Ipswich. If we see the same dross that we saw against Charlton, Portsmouth, Rotherham, and against Sheffield Wednesday, what gives you the confidence this is going to change before the season's up? Are you happy to be in this league next season just for the chance that he'll turn it around to get promoted the season after? Now, I want him to succeed. I want him to turn it around. I want us to beat Ipswich 3 or 4-0. But will you be happy end of the season sitting here? We're not even in the playoffs, or we're getting beat again and we're still in League One next season.
Of course I won't be happy. I'll be livid if we're still in League One.
So you're willing to take that chance after what you've seen so far this season?
We haven't had that bad a start to the season. 15 games in, we're in 5th place. We're there. We're not going to go through the season where we're going to be brilliant all the time. We're going to have, we're going to have a dip in form, and that's going to happen. And I think we're in a really decent position. We've had a decent start. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that people, and a lot of people, are saying Johnson out. I think it's just stupid.
So you say someone else's opinion's ridiculous, where I have to say, if people want Johnson in, fair dues, it's your choice. People want Johnson out, fair dues, it's your choice. Sit on the fence, it's up to you. Life's about opinions. It's about opinions. You slating people's opinions saying it's absolutely ridiculous. It's the same as that bloke who was on before, who you were just saying you were standing against him before.
Yes, they can have their opinion. It doesn't mean I have to like their opinion. They can have whatever opinion they like, right?
So now you're seeing everybody in the chat who wants Johnson's out. Their opinions are ridiculous. Well, it's ridiculous.
In my eyes, anybody who wants Johnson out, I think it's a ridiculous thing to say. That's my opinion, right? On their opinion.
I'm just clarifying what you're saying, that's all.
They're entitled to that opinion. They can say what they want. I don't have to agree with it, and I don't agree with it. Jack, you're one in, mate.
Yeah, I think this is partly the problem. Every time Sunderland are in League One, there's going to be this one extreme to the other, isn't it? We won 3 or 4 games in September. It's HMS pissed the league. We're going to win the league. We're going to do this 100 points and everything. And now we've lost 3 poor games, and suddenly it's sack the manager, sack the players, get rid of everyone. I think we need to have a sense of rationale. Don't get us wrong. I'm not happy with the last 3 performances. I don't think any Sunderland fan could watch that and be satisfied. Really poor. Lost 3 in a row, horrendous. The last 2 particularly terrible. I think what we've got to look at is we've changed a lot in the football club, and particularly with the ownership, the recruitment model, the manager. I think to rip that up now and say, right, go again. I get what Terry's saying. I get the people that want him out. I'm not saying that they're wrong to say that, but I think you've kind of put your eggs in that basket now, whereby you're like, this is the model we're going down. This is the player. This is the manager. These are the type of players. I think to get rid of that now, you might not necessarily get somebody of the caliber that you're expecting that would work within that model. I've seen a few people on the chat that are saying Chris Wilder and Roy Keane and people like that. I don't think they would necessarily work within the model. I mean, they might not even take the job anyway, but we've set our stall out this as the way that's going to be. And at the minute, I think you're going to have to give him a little bit more time. Don't get us wrong, if we lose the next 3 or 4 in a row, he's gone, really, isn't he? But I think 28 points from 15 games over the course of the season, that gets you maybe 86, 85 points. Probably enough for playoffs. Obviously, we're not wanting to lose as many as we're losing, but I still think he's got a few more games in him to try and get this turned around. It's a bad blip, but I think you should give him a bit of time to see if it can turn it around.
Right. We'll go to Jacob, then we'll come to you, Terry. Jacob?
Another thing also is if Lee Johnson was to go, I mean, I'm even reading stuff here of the people who've been linked with the job already. If he was to get the sack, I'm not sure if the people we're currently linked with, they would want to come. I mean, I know you're reaching outside of the box, the likes of a Nigel Pearson or a Chris Wilder, but they are decent managers. But really, would they want to drop into League One? I know we're a sleeping giant in League One, but I would say they would really be wanting a Championship club instead. I mean,
Chris Wilder's not coming out, I don't think. I don't think Chris Wilder comes to Sunderland. I don't think Chris Wilder comes to Sunderland. Sorry, but he's not coming.
No, I don't think, was it the likes of Pearson would come either if he was linked again. I mean, he's been linked with a job, I'd say, twice already with the previous 2 sackings we've had. But also, I'm not really an advocate for bringing back former managers either, with the likes of, Roy Keane, or Roy Keane's been out the game for too long. And I know Gus Poyet was almost brought back when we sacked Phil Parkinson. But yeah, I think he's not really done much since we sacked him in March 2015 in terms of being a manager. So yeah, it's weird times right now. I'm still on the fence about Lee Johnson, but
get off the fence.
I still think he'll get at least another 3 or 4 games, but I have faith he has got the capability to turn things around, but we do need to turn things around now. It's a big game against Ipswich on the 20th of November, but luck-wise, we are sort of Ipswich's bogey team, really. That's the only saving grace.
Right, fair enough. So you are a Johnson out man. Is that what you're saying, Jacob?
No, I'm still on the fence, mate. Still on the fence.
Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, I say I'm a Johnson in after the Ipswich match, so we'll take it from there. But I mean, what I want to see is players being rewarded for fantastic performances in the Cup. We are in the last 8 of the Carabao Cup. We are the best team outside the Premier League in the Carabao Cup. That's there. It's a fact. Simple as. So why can't these players who have getting us against these difficult sides, getting us through to there, why can't they start rewarding some of these players and replacing some of the players that do not perform?
Yep.
Right. Okay, then. We interviewed, I think she was called Michelle. Apologies if we've got your name wrong, on the fan cams. And she came out and she said, why? And she was quite angry, actually. Why is everybody blaming Lee Johnson when it's the players? It's not Lee Johnson. So is it the players and not Lee Johnson? Go on then, Terry.
Both. It's both. Lee Johnson makes the substitutions. He didn't make a substitution to a 3-0 down. The players are in that position because the players played badly. But when you have other players who are playing out of their skin, trying to get into the team and not being given a chance in the team, then it's the manager. Because the manager should be rewarding the players that are in form. Why would you back a horse in a 5-horse race that's completely out of form? You go with the form horse. Simple as. You go with the form players. I mean, if the players come in the FA Cup this weekend, and Burge will probably start, and he has an absolute blinder again. Then he plays during the week in the Papa John's Trophy, and has a blinder again. There's no reason why he should not be replacing Hoffman. It's common sense. Simple common sense. Unless there's a goddamn clause in the contract saying he has to play, which is ridiculous. And another thing, why on earth has Patterson gone out on loan when Patterson, for me, should be playing anyway? But that's another subject altogether.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we did have this this conversation anyway on Sunday about where is the incentive to these players coming in and playing out the skin and then, not getting a place in the first team. And this is why on Tuesday when I saw the team, I was surprised. I thought there would have been a lot more changes, and I was confident that we was going to get a win, and I thought we was going to get a win because of the simple fact that these players would come in and they would say, "You're not getting this shirt back off me. You know, I'm going to play that well that I'm going to be kept in this team." I don't think he made enough changes, and certainly not at the back. Jack, is it Lee Johnson? Is it the team, the players?
I think you can't blame one single aspect for the bad run in the last few weeks. I think Lee Johnson has made some very poor tactical decisions. Make no mistake about it. He's slow to make substitutions. He keeps persisting with certain players that have failed, and I agree with Terry. But you know, it's you can't get rid of a whole squad of players, can you? Do you know what I mean? It's easy. You know, it's a player's fault. Or should we just get rid of the whole load of players? Ultimately, the manager's job is to try and get the maximum out of the players, whether it's unharmony in the dressing room, whether it's players out of form, lack of confidence. It's partly the manager's role to make sure that the team has the best chance of going out on the pitch on a Saturday, whichever team he picks has the best chance to go out there and deliver. So I think Johnson has to take probably more share of the blame, but the players as well. You know, you're looking around with some character sometimes, and I didn't see a lot of character in that Sunderland team on Tuesday night. I saw a couple of players hiding. I saw players that were, you know, almost bottling it a little bit, not wanting the ball, not wanting to graft, and that's a worrying sign for me. So I think you've got to say Johnson does take the majority share of the blame, but he's not completely. You don't lay it all at him. It's not like, you know, people are wanting Johnson out. You know, a new manager might come in, might win a couple of games, but it's not suddenly going to turn us into a 110-point team. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to suddenly coast every game and win every game between now and the end of the season. There might be a bit of an uplift, but ultimately, you know, it's the squad of players is not going to change that much in January. So I think, you know, I understand where people are coming from, but I think ultimately, you know, you have to give him, he's put us in this bad run, you have to give him a bit of a chance to try and get us out of it, I think.
Right, fair enough. Well, before I come to you, Terry, I want to quickly go to the chat, and then I'll go to you, and then we'll come to you, Jacob. William Young says, even if Lee Johnson does get us out of this league, he will not be capable of leading us in the Championship. That's irrelevant because it's all about getting out of this league. And then if we get to the Championship, then we can maybe look at different things there. Johnson is completely tactically inept. His substitutions are absolutely abysmal. That's the casual observer. Marianne and Carl Taylor over in Boston, Massachusetts. Hello to you two. Agree, Terry. Burge needs to start. And then AJJ says Burge had his day, which I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Terry, and then we'll come to you, Jacob.
Was I saying things, or was Luke O'Nien playing in the position of Pritchard and Embleton on Tuesday? Because that completely baffled the life out of me. And how he stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes baffles me even more. But has he got favourites? Do you think he's got favourites? I think Luke O'Nien's his favourite. Nothing wrong with the lad, but he's carrying an injury. Why on earth are we consistently playing players with injuries?
Well, can I also say, when we interviewed this Michelle, and I hope that is your name, she said, Luke O'Nien was getting absolutely slated on the interviews. We were coming past the interview and people and saying Luke O'Nien should never play for Sunderland again and things like this. And she made a very valid point. She said, yes, Luke O'Nien was bad, but all the players are bad. Why is it they jump onto one player all the time? To be honest, they did it with Dobson. You know, once people started, you know, once he had a few bad games and whatever, people got on his back, and all of a sudden, Dobson was this scapegoat, really, and it looks like this is what's happening with Luke O'Nien.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. He's just having a couple of bad games, that's all. I mean, the majority of fans probably do like Luke O'Nien, and to be fair, I think he's just having 2 or 3 bad games, but he's popping his shoulder out left, right, and centre. In what world do you play a bloke who's not fit? Lee Johnson is going to get this guy more criticism week in, week out if he doesn't rest him and get him fully fit.
Right, I'll come to you, Jacob, then we'll come to you, Jack. We were saying, is it him or the players, or do you want to come in on something else there, Jacob?
With Luke O'Nien, I mean, he's having a bad time at the moment in terms of his performances, and I would say a lack of confidence is in there as well. But like what Terry said, you know, he's carrying injuries, and yet I think he's, in Lee Johnson's eyes, a key part of that team, which I think that can't be the case right now because he's not playing to his full potential. But I would say that is because he's not fully match fit. Has he got the capability to turn things around? Yeah, I think he has. You know, you have to remember also he's a player that can play in many different positions. He was playing as a centre half for a long period of time last season. But I think it's the fact that Luke O'Nien's now been part of previous failed regimes at the club that hasn't won promotion. You know, he was part of the Jack Ross side that didn't go up, part of the Phil Parkinson side as well. And I'd say it's also the same for Lyndon Gooch. You know, but I'm not Gooch's biggest fan, but when you've been here for a long period of time and you've been part of too many failed regimes, you know, with Lyndon Gooch, you know, he was even here when Simon Grayson was in charge, when Chris Coleman was in charge, Jack Ross, Phil Parkinson, and now he's playing under Lee Johnson. Of course, you know, you are going to get criticism from the supporters, and I think the motto at the club needs to, they are committed type players, but have they got the individual quality to take the team to that next level? And I think that needs to change at the football club a little bit. And right now, I think the manager just needs more nous and needs to look at their performances more and just say they're not doing the job that they're meant to do, and having just the boldness to drop them, I would say.
Right. Thanks, Joe. I'm going to bring you in, Jack. You was one in there. Then I need to go to the chat. So, Jack.
Yeah, just specifically, you know, touching on Luke O'Nien. I've never been a big Luke O'Nien fan. I think our fans value his commitment and his running, but they place that above his actual technical ability, and I think it blinds our fans' performances to what he's like actually on the pitch. I mean, we all love a committed player, but when you say to a player he has to start, and yet I've spoken to loads of different players, and we all have different opinions on where Luke O'Nien's best player is. So you say to Luke O'Nien he has to play, right? But nobody seems to agree on what his best position is. Some people say he's best in centre midfield. Some people say he's best at right back. Some like him at centre back. Some like him off the back of the striker. And when you tell a player, nobody has an idea, you know, a consensus of where his best position is. But he seems to get, it's just, oh, well, Luke O'Nien starts. And it's like, well, are you just shoehorning him into the team just because, you know, he runs a bit? I think people are sometimes blinded by his actual performances. And, you know, he has been part of a team he's been part of 4 seasons now. And, you know, you know what you're going to get from Luke O'Nien. And ultimately, in my opinion, it's not enough to take us to this promotion, the next level. He should only be used as a squad player. He should be used if players are injured, fill in now and again in his utility role, but he shouldn't be the regular starter. And I'm not blaming him for the past 3 years. But what I'm saying is, when you start picking blind loyalty over players like Luke O'Nien, I don't think it does you any good as a team.
Do you not think Luke O'Nien played better at fullback?
Well, I would have him on the bench personally, but, you know, where do I think he played best? Possibly, probably better at fullback. But the thing is, Phil, when he was playing at fullback, people said he's not a fullback. Now he's gone into midfield, and people say, well, he's not a midfielder, he has to play at fullback. Maybe the answer is just don't play Luke O'Nien. Just don't play him. Sorry, but.
Right. Okay, then. Tony Lee, O'Nien's performances have been awful for weeks. Terry, I'll bring you in quick, and then I want to go to the chat. At
the start of the season, I did a league prediction, and I predicted us to be absolutely, I don't think it was about 6th place or something. So I've been following Sunderland since 676, 75, been going to the matches for years and years and years. And my gut feeling, my gut instinct says to me that this team and Lee Johnson's not good enough to win this league. That's just my gut instinct.
Right, okay. Right, I'm going to go to the chat because Dylan Elstop is on there. He's the guy who was very vocal this afternoon on Instagram about the fact that we were going to debate this. And he says, no need for this debate to even go ahead. Trust Johnson. Are we wrong to be debating this issue when there's so many people on either side? Terry, are we wrong to have this debate?
Newspapers are talking about it. It's all over social media. It's all over Facebook, everywhere, Twitter, everywhere. There's nothing wrong with having a good, hearty, healthy debate. That's all it is. It's a game of opinions. What we say and do has no bearing on what happens to Lee Johnson. We're not KLD. We're not Christian Speakman. We have no bearing on what happens. We have in our opinions. Some of us want them in. Some of us are sitting on the fence. Some of us will give a few more games. We have no bearing whatsoever. So it makes no odds what we say or do. It's all it is. It's a healthy debate. People have debates over all sorts of things throughout the whole of the world. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not breaking the law. We're not arguing. We're not fighting. We're not causing trouble. It's a healthy debate.
Well said. Yeah, you did right. We won't be changing the outcome of Lee Johnson's career, but it should be debated. Do you agree with that, Jack?
Yeah, of course. I think we're a passionate fan base. You're never going to get Sunderland fans sitting down quietly about anything. They're either going to be unhappy with things or they're buzzing with things and happy. And I think it's a symbol of the passion that we all have. We've all had a bit of a rant and a bit of go at Sunderland, but I think we need to be realistic here, and ultimately our ambition is to get out of this league. And if Lee Johnson's looking like he's struggling a bit, then it's understandable that people are questioning him. I would never say Sunderland fans wrong with their opinion. Do you know what I mean? We all have our opinions, and I think it's understandable that people are questioning him, because there's some out there that are looking at it thinking 3 losses on the spin, the last 2, 5-1 and 3-0. You're in charge, not a massive deal of progress, and I understand why people are frustrated. So I'd never have a problem with having a bit of a debate like this. It's all about opinions, but as long as it doesn't go over the top where you're threatening each other and that.
Yeah, Jacob, are you happy to have this debate? Do you think we should be doing this?
Of course, this is what these type of platforms are for, Philly. It's all about opinions, and it always has been since you started the channel 2 years ago. This is the beauty of it. Obviously, when a manager's doing poorly, you have every right to discuss whether he's the right man to go forward if he's doing well. Obviously, you're going to discuss how far can he go and how much success he can deliver to take this team to the next level. That's the beauty of, football fan channels? That's what they're for. And right now, with the way how things are going, of course, people are going to question the manager, but also the players at the same time. But that's the beauty of football fan channels, mate.
Right, I don't know who Captain Nat supports, but he says, I think I had Sunderland with us in the playoffs. So hopefully you're wrong. We never want to see the playoffs again. Let me quickly throw out to you then, fellas. Let's say Lee Johnson does go the journey. Who is there who could come in and do a better job? Jacob, do you want to start with that one? There's been lots of names thrown about on the chat with this as well.
It goes back to the debate whether they want the job, to be honest,
Well, realistically, Jacob, somebody you think could actually come in, but then do a better job than what Lee Johnson's doing.
Or if we had the money to attract the type of manager to drop down to that division to get us out of it, then the person I would choose, Chris Wilder. I would say he's done it in League One before. He's won promotions out of League One and also the Championship with Sheffield United. Plays of a high press, and whether he can do that with the squad of players we've got, who knows? But Lee Johnson's still here, so right now we've just got to give him the support to hopefully turn things around. Well,
listen, we know that, and I think he's, my personal opinion, I think he should be given time to do that. But what we're just saying is, if he did end up going, realistically, names on there already. Big Sam has been chucked in, Nigel Clough, Mick McCarthy. These are just names going in. Chris Wilder's been chucked about quite a lot. Jack, your thoughts on that?
Well, if it was, whoever, if someone was just going to say anybody at all, then I would go for Chris Wilder, but he would be the standout choice. But I think realistically, he could command a championship job. I think, unfortunately, size of the club doesn't matter too much at the minute. If you're looking at Sunderland's quite a bit of work to get them up to the championship level and challenge, and I don't think he would take it. Sorry, but I think if we can get him, great. If he would come, but I think realistically, someone I look at. I mean, if we were to get rid of him, someone I look at who's actually in this league that I think does a decent job and might get a bit of criticism on the chat. Someone like Michael Appleton. I think I look at him and I don't mind his style of play, the way that he has his teams playing, and I think he's worked with youngsters. He's a young northern bloke and might be down to earth with the fans a bit more than Lee Johnson. Might have a bit of a connection with the supporters more than Lee Johnson seems to have. It's just an option. People will probably say I'm talking rubbish, but that's opinions, isn't it? I think someone like that would be a bit more realistic, and I think would probably perhaps take the job. And I think Chris Wilder, it would be a great shout, but I don't think he'd come.
I think Appleton would be on a. I think a lot of fans would probably be against that. Like you said, it probably wouldn't be a popular choice, and you already start on the back foot because of that. Just very quickly, David Jones on the chat says Ipswich have found their mojo, which they have, and of course Ipswich is our next league game, and what a time to play them. I mean, they've been absolutely abysmal right through the start of the season, and here we are. We are due to play them, so that is going to be a big game for Lee Johnson. Terry, should Lee Johnson go? Realistically, who could you see coming in?
I wouldn't see why Chris Wilder wouldn't want to come if the money was there and he had some kind of long-term plan guarantee. I mean, he's from Yorkshire, only 54 years of age, not like he's 60 plus, he's got plenty of time. He could have a couple of seasons getting them promoted. So if he has the backing, guaranteed backing, this is all hypothetical, mind, guaranteed backing, then I don't see why. It depends if his hands are going to be tied with Christian Speakman, hands are going to be tied with who he wants to buy. So I think Chris Wilder, for me, I think will be a good fit.
Right, okay. Jack, you was one in, then we'll come to you, Jacob.
It's just around Chris Wilder. I don't know. Did he have full reign of the kind of the transfers? Did he have full kind of say over the recruitment and things that he got at Sheffield United? Because I'm just thinking, with the way we go now, would he fit in and be willing to kind of submit to the model we run, or will he want full range over kind of the control of the recruitment? That's the only thing. Thinking, he said, why wouldn't he come? I'm just thinking, would he operate within the model that we're going down at the minute? I mean,
yeah, that's the guarantees he's going to have, isn't it? Whether he'll go with that or not.
Right, okay. Jack Ludlow quickly on the chat says, if Ipswich can change their form, then so can we. Of course we can. Jacob, you was one in.
I think the good thing about Chris Wilder, even when he got that Sheffield United team promoted, I don't think he spent a big load of money, to try and improve. I think the good thing about Chris Wilder is he has a certain style of play and he likes to stick to that. And I think he improves individual performances a lot. And I think the problem that he ended up having with that Sheffield United team, eventually they got burned out in the second series and they were just absolutely exhausted and they couldn't string a good run together. I think with the high press that they were playing the previous season, eventually, was it the experience caught up with a lot of those players? But yeah, I think Chris Wilder will be able to do an effective job, I would say, with the squad we've got, personally, I think. But yeah.
All right, very quickly. I'll come to you in a sec, Terry. Different people on the chat saying Roy Keane with Phillips as number 2. Totally agreeing with that, Terry.
Right, Lee Johnson's only 40-year-old. He seems to be stuck in his ways at the moment, but he's young enough to learn, young enough to grow. I don't know whether he could be persuaded by Christian Speakman and KLD to change what he's doing. I don't know if they'll get involved at all, even though they were involved in buying the players in, bringing the players in, type of players that they want for the club. The thing is about Lee Johnson as well, he fell out with the Arsenal a good while ago, and he seems to still have a grudge about it. So does that not say he's a bit stubborn?
He was 17.
Does that not say he's got a stubborn streak? And can we see him changing his tactics? Can we see him changing what he does for the next match? I don't know.
Right, fair enough. Lords, we're not going to get in here. I quickly wanted to have a look at Saturday's game, Mansfield. Does this match really matter, considering we're already going to Wembley in the Carabao Cup? Terry, have you got a team? Have you got your whiteboard?
I do have a team.
Time to do the team. Let's see.
I do have a team.
Should be.
This is the team I think we should have, right?
Hang on, Terry. Let me get you on big screen. Then we can see you fully there. Hang on. Let's we'll just do that. There you go. Right, away you go.
Lovely stuff.
Right, so there we go. So Burge comes in goal. Richardson is right back. Dyche is left back. Alves and Younger as the centre backs. Taylor, Sona, Neil. I would start because I want to give Neil some confidence back. His confidence be shot the last 2 matches. Only played kind of 60 minutes on Tuesday. So for Neil, and make Neil the captain again, like he was in the Papa John's Trophy. Diaco needs to come in, see what he's made of against the League 2 opposition. Embleton needs some time on the park. We can't just give Embleton training days. I want Embleton back on firing on all cylinders for the Ipswich match. So for me, Embleton gets to start. Harris, we have players like Pritchard who needs some time, Kimberyoka. We also got Broadhead who could do with some minutes coming off the bench possibly, and obviously Wern. So that's the team I would start personally. And I got the same sort of 4-2-3-1 because I know that Lee Johnson won't change it.
Right, I'm surprised at that. I think there's a lot of the younger ones in there. I don't think he'll have that many. And a fair shout with Kimberyoka, who's been off form, but he did get a hat trick, didn't he?
Well, I would keep Kimberyoka basically for the week for the Papa John's Trophy during the week.
Right, fair enough. So I'll tell you what we'll do then, because we are just about out of time. Let's take some predictions for you for Saturday. Of course, if it is drawn, the game replays are back this season, where they stopped the replays, but there is going to be a replay. If it is a draw, it will go back down to Mansfield. They're going to do that up until the fourth round, I do believe. Terry, a quick prediction for you for Saturday then. Bearing in mind,
we play that strong team. We'll get 3-1 win. We'll go for 3-0 win. Nice clean sheet with Burge back in goal.
3-0. Of course, we did. We played Mansfield at home in exactly the same fixture last season. The first round of the FA Cup, we were drawn at home to Mansfield. We did lose 1-0. Jack, a prediction?
2-0 Sunderland. I think we'll win. I don't think we'll batter them, because I think it will be a changed team, but I think we'll do enough to get over the line. 2-0.
Right. And Jacob? Who's gone very pixelated. Sorry. Go on, Jacob.
Scrappy affair, but I would say we'll just about come out on top. I think a lot of players need some minutes, so I'll say a 1-0 to Sunderland.
A 1-0. Right. Well, I'm going to go for a 5-0 battering, I think. They've got to do it. I don't think there'll be as many of the youngsters in the team as you put out there. Sorry, I think people will need to prove a point and what have you. And I just think we'll be too strong for them. And I think once one goal goes in, the floodgates will open.
Well, Philly. If we are playing a strong team, then we should give them a good battering. It's League 2. Come on. If we don't, then we're in trouble.
It's all down to what Lee Johnson picks, the team he picks, I suppose. Look, thanks very much for tuning in. We've still got 250 people on the live stream there, 120 likes. Just smash that thumbs up for us. Let's get those likes up. If you're new to the channel and you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Take you a second to do that, and that does help the channel. And once again, a massive thank you to our subscribers who got us over the 7,000 mark this week. Thanks to Terry and his live stream. Terry, are you doing a live stream on Saturday?
I will be. Just a live stream. I'm really busy this weekend, so if I can squeeze it in, I'll squeeze it in.
We don't know for certain yet, but we're hoping to have Tommy back doing his live stream on this channel as well, but that's yet to be confirmed. Thanks for tuning in. Jack, would you like to say bye to everybody?
See you later, lads and lasses.
There you go. Thank you very much. Jacob, just say bye, will you?
See you later. How are the lads?
See you later. Don't keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
There you go. And Terry, just say bye to everybody.
Goodbye to everybody.
There you go. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Cheers, lads.